What's up, YouTube? It's Logan. So, this is gonna be my 1 year on testosterone video. Uh, I know my last video was 9 months on T, and I know that I promised that I was gonna make these things on time, and instead of them being a couple weeks late, they were a couple months late. Just so much has happened in the last few months that I just was not able to keep up with these videos. And the holiday season was really busy. I was working a lot, and my birthday happened, and just kind of fell out of my priority list. So sorry about that. Anyway, today is February 3rd, 2015, and on January 27th, 2015, I made 1 year on testosterone. I am also about 8 months post-op, little over 8 months post-op. So yeah, little bit of life update. I just moved to New Orleans from Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was it's my hometown, and I was living there after graduation, and I stayed there for 2 years, and I just didn't feel like I was supposed to be there anymore. I did live in New Orleans for nursing school. I lived here 3 years, and I loved it here, but it's just circumstances brought me back home for a little while, and I'm very happy to be back in New Orleans and back in with my community, and just feeling so much more at peace and at home here in New Orleans. Despite it not being my hometown, this place is just where I'm supposed to be. So I also am no longer full-time at my job, and I'm looking to start travel nursing in the near future. I think I might have mentioned that in my last video. Just waiting on California to send me my nursing license in the mail so that I can start applying for some assignments. But that's pretty much where I am right now with life. Just overall really happy with where I am in life, and just feeling like everything's just starting to fall into place for me. So as far as like testosterone updates, I know that I had spent some time in some of my previous videos talking about passing. I'm not really a fan of that word. I don't feel as if passing is necessary to be considered your true gender identity. I know that, you know, there's passing privilege, and I recognize that, but just the whole idea of passing is kind of problematic. But for lack of a better word, I have been being read as male almost at this point 85% of the time. Out in public, I am starting like a couple months ago, maybe like a month and a half ago. I've pretty much been passing or being read as male 100% of the time out in public. The only time I really have trouble is at work, just because my scrubs are just not exactly, they're so neutral and so unisex that people just, there's no other cues for people, as for like clothing and stuff, to cue people in on my gender identity. So it's going based solely on my physical presentation. And more people at work are kind of jumping on the bandwagon with using male pronouns, but it's still pretty 75-25 with people still using female pronouns, and I haven't really made it a big issue. I haven't like called people out on it. Just simply because I'm not working as much there, and it's not worth the confrontation. But a lot of people are kind of, you know, everyone pretty much knows, and a lot of people are just kind of, you know, making the transition in their minds that, hey, he wants male pronouns, and a lot of people are making the effort, and a lot of people aren't. So it's whatever. Also, my immediate family, my parents and my brother, and they've gotten the name, like, I came out with to them probably like 3 years ago, and I changed my name like 2.5 years ago, and my parents have exclusively called me Logan pretty consistently for the last year or so. So they've gotten the name right, and I'm sure that took a lot for them to get the name. So I'm kind of trying to be patient with them, but you know, they still are using female pronouns, and my mom slips up and calls me her daughter sometimes, which is awkward. So I don't know. I'm gonna kind of bring it up to them a little bit at a time. You know, being like, if my mom uses she, I'll just say he, and then usually when I say that, she's like, whatever, he, or she's trying. You know, my parents have been so supportive of me through this whole thing that I can't, I feel like I can't be ungrateful, and I'm not ungrateful at all. So I know it's just a matter of time for them to be totally transitioned into male. So that's kind of where I am. As far as physical changes go, just more hair. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. Just a lot more hair. I've noticed that I've gotten more hair. I don't know if you can see on my stomach. And then on my chest it's coming in. I've noticed that, I know I mentioned in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, that I felt like I was in like some sort of chipmunk phase. I think that things have slimmed out a lot with my face. I still have pretty bad acne though. And it's kind of bad right now because I shaved about 3 weeks ago, and then every time I shave my face breaks out like so bad. And I was shaving because people were calling me out on the nasty scraggly hairs that I had going on my chin. So I was like, whatever, and I shaved. So I'm just happy that I'm starting to get facial hair, which is very, very little. I have like some hairs here and here. Nothing substantial whatsoever, just small black hairs happening. What else? Let's see. Oh, I noticed, I had really thought that like my junk or whatever at this point had stopped growing, I guess. Because it kind of slowed down a lot after like the first 6 months. And I've noticed just in the last like month or so, or maybe even like a few weeks, I had a random increase in growth. And I didn't do anything different. I just was like, whoa, hello. So a little growth spurt happening in that department. And then I've also noticed that in the last again, my time is just all over the place. Sometime in the last 3 months, since we last spoke, I guess. So I've noticed some emotional changes happening with testosterone. Lately I've been feeling like I have a shorter fuse, I guess. Especially at work, like something will happen, and that will just piss me off. And I never used to get angry. I never had an anger issue. I was always very like cool and composed. And the other day something happened with a patient. They just pressed my buttons to a point where I didn't even recognize myself in the way that I was affected by that. It just pissed me off so bad. I can't even explain to you. And I had to literally go in the back and like sit down and like cool off, and I wanted to react, and I had to stop myself from reacting. I had to walk out of the room. I had to literally turn around and walk out of this patient's room because I was gonna go off. And I started raising my voice, and I was like, I'm gonna lose my job. I need to walk out. So I did. and that was never an issue before. And I'm hoping that maybe I was just having a particularly moody day, and you know, I was just in a bad mood. And I don't feel angry a lot. I just noticed that it was more intense than I've ever felt before. And I've mentioned before that testosterone has made me feel emotions more intensely than I did before, and I don't know if that's just because I've been chronically depressed my whole life, and so testosterone, now that I've transitioned, I don't feel as depressed, and so I'm able to like feel things, or if it's actually a hormonal difference going on. But it's really interesting, the changes that are happening emotionally. I don't think that my core person has changed. If anything, I feel more myself than I've ever been in my life, more confident about myself than I've ever been. But I think that it just takes a long time to adjust to the way that your mind, I don't know, works. I don't know. It's really interesting. I've thought a lot about like writing a book about it, but yeah, that's just not something I have the time or like emotional energy to invest into right now. Anyway, so I will show you my chest. About 8 weeks or so. I mean, weeks. See, months. Time just escapes me. I have no concept of time whatsoever, which is probably why this video is so late. Alright. Alright. So, this is my chest. 8 months post-op. I had double incision with Dr. Garamoni on May 29th of 2014. So I can get closer, I guess. So I'll just kind of... And this video makes it look way more red than it actually is. I've mentioned before that this nipple is like super big in comparison to this one. It really bothers me. I don't know why. Sorry, this is actually a pimple. Sorry about that. And also, the biggest thing I've noticed is that this part of my incision has stretched a lot. And this is all like it's pretty flat and fading, and this part's still kind of dark. Same on this side. And this is also probably a pimple. This side is a little bit more faded. I also had, right here, I had an incident where a suture popped up through the skin, kind of like what happened here that I've mentioned before, and like right here. And it happened, and it kind of got like infected. Not infected, but it pus like came out of it, which is super gross. And I was worried that I was gonna get infected, and then but it didn't. So I'm really happy. I mean, I got, complete range of motion. Doesn't tug at all. The only thing that really I've noticed is that it itches a lot recently, especially like right here and like right here. I don't know why. And here. Also, I had to go buy new jeans today because my jeans just do not fit anymore. My hips have just slimmed out so much that my jeans don't fit. And my mom even called me out on it. Was like, "You look like your pants are falling off your ass." And I was like, if my mom noticed, then I probably need to do something about it. I'm just gonna kind of focus. Hello. Alright, well, real quick, I ran out of space on my camera, but I'm going to make a 1 year on T montage video, and I will post that soon, and I will try to see you guys in a month.